my name is Joseph Carlson, and this is episode 19 of the Tabletop Experiment, and this is Dragonlance Part 10. I am joined once again by Todd Johnson. I'm not going to say his full name. Apparently, there's a problem with that. Christian and Jesse playing Martok. You can see their character names to the right, their symbol for what they're playing there. Last time we left everybody, you guys watched the Vogler burn as you were in boats, kind of going down the river, and you all had about 3 hit points thereabouts. I think Swami was a little bit better. But the last thing before everybody passed out was Martok looked at everybody and said, "Mission accomplished." As the town was burning, high-fived everybody, and then everybody passed out in the boats. Just to let you know, I edited the last episode and named it Mission Accomplished because I thought, what a great way to summarize what happened in the episode. We succeeded, but most of the town is dead and it's burning behind us. So, as Bruce Banner said in Avengers Endgame, I consider this a win. So, you guys kind of are on, you're kind of like rolling in the boats. You wake up in the boats, and if you look at the Discord stream right now, this is kind of what you see. You don't see all these soldiers, but you're kind of off one of these little inlets of water. And kind of like you see the walled city of Kalaman kind of rise with those spires you see in the picture. It's spreading across the southern shore, and you see ships going into like a bigger bay off to like the northwest of you, where you guys are going. But where you guys are on the Vingard River, where it meets the bay, you guys are kind of going off like to one of these small little inlets off to a small shore where the other refugees are kind of pulling up in boats with Vogler. And it doesn't... everybody give me a perception check. What'd you guys get for your perception checks? Just let me know while I'm opening everything up here.
I got a 13.
13.
I got a 15.
13, 15. What'd you get, Martok? 22?
17.
Ah, hang on. There we go. And game log. Okay. Based off that, off your guys' perception, you see the boats coming to shore. Are you guys logged into Tailspire yet? I will give you permission to be on the board really quick. So you guys are kind of on shore. I just put your minis right on the shore. But you see many more boats than you remember coming from Vogler, and you see a lot of different refugees. I didn't try to muddy up the waters a little bit with the Tailspire. I put some refugees here, not a lot. I didn't want to like totally, apparently Uriel's trying to get warm by the fire right there. Oh, he's moving off. Okay. Your biscuits are burning, as Yosemite Sam used to say. But yeah, you guys kind of get off shore. You see all these refugees kind of like pour out, and they're like stretching and everything. And like I said, off to the north of where you guys are, you saw the Kalaman city walls there, and everybody's kind of resting here. But as you guys kind of get offshore, you see Holt and Voren Ross, the 2 knights from before. They are kind of on shore, and you see one of them like writing down people as they're like coming off the boats, and kind of like counting and like accounting for who made it, who didn't. You see a lot of stragglers coming through, and a lot of people obviously have seen better days because they barely survived their town burning. You see a lot of kids running around, a lot of them going to the woods to use the bathroom, stuff like that. And like I said, you see some people like in this, making a fire to, stay warm. Some of them are cooking some food and stuff like that. Some guys went off to the woods to maybe find some firewood, stuff like that. So you guys are kind of on the shore, and you see Voren and them kind of come up to you, and they when they see you, they kind of grimace a bit, but they don't really smile. But Holt like leans into you guys. He's like, "I'm glad you guys made it. Everything okay? You guys feeling okay?"
Feeling fantastic.
Feeling great, yeah.
Well,
how are you feeling? How you doing?
Super.
He looks great. In fact, you see he has no blood on his uniform or whatever, but he looks tired. And you see Voren next to him. Like, I didn't put him on here. I didn't want to make it too busy. But you see Voren come up to you, and he's like, he comes up to you, Martok. I think you took it. He says, Martok, did you get that case from Beckland's keep?
I believe we did. Is that true?
Yeah, you did. Remember, you
Yes.
guys. Yeah, you guys.
Yes.
You guys grabbed it with the healing potions. Remember?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I,
He's like,
I had put it in the bag. Yeah.
well, I need a. Voren's like, I need a witness. Would you guys come follow me?
Oh, it's that
Where,
kind of meat. All right. All
An HR thing.
right.
where,
They
like,
arrested Rose.
about time.
No, they didn't. What were you gonna say, Uriel?
I was just going to say, what happened to Becklin? If they're here, where's...
You
Oh,
see,
I
you
just
see
heard a
Voren.
boom.
You see Voren. He looks like really serious. He's like, "Could you follow me?"
Lead the way.
So
Either way.
I'm gonna
Will there
move.
be sound?
I'm gonna shine the light. So he goes to this grove right over here. Do you guys see the light I'm shining right over here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he goes over here, and as you guys like enter the grove, it's like I didn't make the trees really tall. Martok, I'll move you over here. I know you're driving home, but he you see as you go there, like it's really dark. The trees are taller here, and you see Darrett Highwater, that kid from before. His clothes are just all ripped up, and he's got like soot on his face and everything. And you see Voren Ross kind of like come into the thing, and then you see Holt kind of like behind him, and they go in front. You can see him there, and I couldn't find a thing for Daggett, so it's just this like commoner kid right here. But he Voren's like, Martok, I need that case.
It'll cost you 1 gold.
You see, he's like, put it on my tab.
All right. I'll just
And-
hand it out.
He puts it in there, and then he opens the case in front of Darrett. And inside the case is a full suit of Solamnic armor, and it doesn't have a helmet with it. And you see Darrett just like he's like standing in the middle, just shocked. And when they open the case in front of him, like Holt opens it in front of him, he just like falls to his knees and just looks in the case. And they're like when he falls to his knees, Voren's like, Darrett Highwater, for your service in the town of Vogler during the escape and subsequent fire and the saving of townsfolk, you've now been knighted a knight of the Solamnic Order. You're now a knight of the Rose Order, or of the Crown. He says, Knight of the Crown, just like us. And he dabs, the sides to knight him. And then he reaches behind and pulls out Becklin's helm and then hands over her sword and says, unfortunately, in the battle, she perished. But he says, she, like you, saved many people, and she'll always be in Vogler. If the town ever gets rebuilt, Thornwall Keep is yours. And you see Darrett just like start like grabbing everything, and his eyes are just wide, like he doesn't know what to do. And you see Holt like go over to him, and he's like, "Here, I'll help you put your armor on. You probably, I don't know if have you done it before?" And Darrett just kind of like, he kind of like he looks shocked and kind of like nods a little bit, and he's like, "I'll help you. It's always rough the first time. Come with me." And then they go over to the tree, and he's like helping him put his armor on and everything. And it's Holt helping him do that. You see Voren turn to you guys, and he's like, what happened? What did you guys see?
Were you not there?
Oh, I was there.
Remember,
Giant
They were-
dragon game. There was lots of fire. There's lots of army folks
Well, I was in
streaming into the place.
I was on a different side of town than you were. So what did you see?
How did you not see a dragon in the air?
we had a bunch of the militia that was working with whoever come in. We started fighting them. They started having fireballs lobbed into town. And then before we left, we saw, I don't know if it was an illusion or what, but it was a giant dragon.
Metal
So-
dragon.
Sounds kind of stupid saying a giant dragon because dragons are pretty giant. But
You're like it was a redundant dragon.
Yeah, it was a redundant dragon.
Yeah. He basically just says, he goes, that's a gnomish invention. It's a fake dragon, but it's a siege engine. It's good if you want to destroy a town. I've run into them before. They're not easy to kill. We usually end up retreating. Unless you have explosives, you can't really take them out. Or, you know, mages. And unfortunately, we're running low on both of those things.
I assume they run, like, there's people that have to operate it if it's a machine, right? It's not just like...
Yeah, but they're usually inside and they're very heavily armored. So it makes it kind of difficult. I mean, we've taken them down before, but it takes a bit.
Yeah, by that time we were out of mana, we were out of spells, we were out of everything.
He said,
so there was no way we could even try to fight it.
Well, I'm supposed to go talk with my commanding officer, Trinity. You guys have probably heard of him. I have to go talk with him and debrief him. Is there anything you guys need from us before we go? I mean, you're more than welcome to come into town and debrief with me. Probably like it.
Got another set of armor somewhere floating around?
Got another what?
A set of plate armor floating around somewhere?
At that moment, you say that, both Holt and Derek come, you know, from behind the tree. You see them with their armor on, and Holt goes, of course, we have an extra set of armor, but you kind of gonna join up. I mean, it's got a cool symbol on it and everything, but it kind of comes with some concessions, we'll say. And he like laughs.
Responsibilities
like you guys.
What about some non-responsibilities, light armor?
Oh, you see Holt. He's like, you see Holt spin at you, and he's like, we've been more than happy to sell you light armor. Same symbol.
Didn't we just have it for free after we just saved everyone? Sell? You just offered us £4.
You see Vorin just smile. He goes, I mean, I guess it's free. If you want to accept it, you just have to take it and sign on the dotted line, and the Knights of Solamnia will embrace you into their open arms. And you see Holt just laugh. Holt is just laughing uncontrollably.
Next time you need help, don't call us. How about that?
He's a good salesman. You should have been Mr. Colin as a salesman.
You definitely missed your calling.
You see Holt stops laughing for a second. He goes, I don't know, it worked on me. I mean, he did sell me one time. And he looks at Vorin, and Vorin goes, yeah, it was the one time, but it was a long contract, we'll say. And Holt's like,
oh God.
Like,
devil's in the details, fellas. Devil's in the details.
You guys with your passive, like, you know, perception and everything, your passive insight, you kind of hear a lot of murmuring happening from like the camp. Like everybody's kind of like murmuring in unison. It's really weird because before it was kind of like a, you know, just a clang of like noise and stuff. It's people are getting off the boats. People are hugging each other because they didn't know if each other made it or not. And you just hear a bunch of murmuring. And off the boat steps, you guys kind of look over and you see off one of the boats kind of in the distance, the mayor of Vogler steps off one of the boats. And
late as usual.
Nothing to say. I got nothing to say.
You see her just come off the boat, and you see there's a patch over her eye, like a bandage, you know, over her head and over her eye, and she looks incredibly tired. Yeah, she gets off the boat, and people like help her a little bit and stuff like that.
I
I didn't know if you guys were gonna
be late to her own death.
I mean, technically she was, because she survived. She survived the burning of the town, so she's still around. As you guys are kind of looking over, you don't want to say anything to her or whatever, you're just gonna let it be.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say. I just say out loud late as usual, but then that was it.
She doesn't pick up on it. Because there's a lot of noise around her and everything.
I look over at Warren and, well, no, that kind of answered my question. Never mind.
Oh, how did she make it out or whatever?
Well, I mean, I would have much rather have had Becklin make it than her.
Oh, you say that to him? You say that to Vorin? You say it to him?
I'm not gonna say it in front of Derek because he's already having a hard time.
Yeah,
I'm not
his mentor just died.
Yeah, I'm like, I walk over to Derek. I kind of tap his shoulder and says, "It looks good on you. Make her proud."
Yeah, you see him. He shakes a little bit, and Holt says, "Well, Derek, I hate to tell you this, but you're under our command now, so I do outrank you. So what I need you to do is I need you to go get some firewood." And like you see Vorin Ross look at Holt and then just smile, and then Derek immediately he tightens his sword, and he goes to take his helmet off, because he's trying Becklett's helmet on to see if it fits him, and it does fit him. And he goes to take it off, and Holt's like, "What are you doing? You don't take your helmet off." And they don't have their helmets on. And you see him put it back down and tie the strap, and then he goes, "I said, go to the woods, get some firewood." And you see him just look and then just go and run into the woods. And Vorin's you see Vorin just grin a little bit, and Holt's like, "Hey, I kind of get this whole command thing." And Vorin just shakes his head. He's like, "All right, well." He's like, "You guys didn't happen to see Leedera, did you?"
Leedera, that was the elf, wasn't it?
Correct. You didn't happen to see her, did you?
We saw her on our way into town, but we did not see her afterwards.
Yep.
Well, that's interesting.
Why? What did she do?
And he you see Vorin cock his head towards Holt, and Holt goes, "I mean, should we tell him?" And Vorin's like, "Well, I think we should." You see Vorin look over you guys. He's like, "Leedera's been dead for about 300 years. So you saw her before you got to town?"
Yeah, she gave us some horses.
And some soup.
And some soup.
Yeah.
And a recipe for that soup, remember? Didn't you ask for the recipe?
Yeah. Gave you the recipe, that's right.
It's inspiration.
Well, that's a mystery indeed. Oh, so
wait a minute, you're saying a dead person gave us soup and horses?
I mean, I fought dead people. Vorin's I fought dead people, and they've given me a lot more trouble, so maybe just the soup and the horses is a good thing.
I mean, usually when we fight dead people, it's a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, "Well, you guys must be blessed." Oh, he said, "So, you see, Vorin said, it's the last time I'm going to ask, gentlemen." He's like, "You guys don't happen to want to be part of the Solamnic Order?" Swami, no, stop talking. No. He's like, "All right." He's like, "Oh, you're freelancers?
We're good together.
We're free agents.
Free agents?
We're good together, but in a group, we wouldn't be happy."
Oh.
Or
part of an organization, you wouldn't be happy.
Yeah. Being told what to do.
That wouldn't go well.
Having to follow orders doesn't really work well.
No, sir.
He's like, "I understand. Some letters did come for you before you guys hit the shore, though. Don't worry, it's not from the Solamnic Order." And he hands you guys these sealed letters. Do you guys want to read them right away, or hold on to them, or?
I'm gonna read it.
You just rip yours open right away.
I'm like, who's sending me a letter?
Uriel, your letter says, "Dear Uriel, we've been watching your progress with great interest, and if you are so inclined, you need to meet Marlin at the croissant shop in town. It's called Marlin's Croissants. And if you'd like to continue your magical training, we would definitely like that to happen."
Marlin's Croissants.
Well, I mean, I love croissants.
That's how they get you. They get you to join the mage order by just giving you croissants, and you're like, "What did I sign? I just brought a croissant."
That sounds amazing. That sounds like a great way to get people.
Since we've been eating crap lately.
Yeah, a lot of fish. You guys have been eating a lot of fish lately, so baked good actually sounds pretty good. Swami and Martok, both of your letters kind of read similar. That you should go to this shop and talk to Marlin. if you'd like to continue your magical training. If not,
let's do it. Yeah, no, I'm
doing it.
Where's Marlin?
Let's go find this Marlin.
At the croissant shop.
Yeah. We just got to go to find the croissant shop.
So as you guys kind of like, I'm just going to keep it on this shore map. As you guys kind of work through shore, there's like a side gate, and some of the refugees are going through there. And outside, you see a stand, and it says Marlin's Croissants on the stand, and they are charging for croissants, but it's only a copper. So you see a lot of the refugees coming through just paying that copper to get those croissants. And they have just one of those big baskets, and you can smell. In fact, everybody gets, do this. You guys get 3 temporary hit points just from the smell of baked goods. That's how benevolent I am. And obviously I think I get, I get some temporary hit points when I just smell baked goods. So, but do you guys get in line, or do you like try to cut the line?
No, I'm going to be nice and get in line.
Everybody gets a copper. You guys get a croissant, and you see this like,
wait a minute. Is there a one croissant?
Oh, you want more than one? Yeah, you can take more than one if you want. Yeah. You're like, we're hungry. Like we've been in a boat for like a day and a half. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, give me 4 croissants.
4.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you can down them pretty easy. Yeah, you guys are sitting there eating croissants and everything, and a bunch of the villagers are just like looking at each other, and they're just like, picks them up a little bit, and you see like this elderly dwarf, and like it looks like there's like gray, like if the sunlight hits his hair just right, you see like red tint in his hair, but it's mostly gray. It's like faded gray, faded red hair. And he's like serving croissants, everybody like handing them out as people are giving him the copper.
I'm like, excuse me, sir, are you Marlin?
He's like, no, I just work here. My name's Pike.
Hi, Pike. I'm looking for Marlin.
Oh, yeah, this may sound strange, but he points over to like where the stand is, and there's like a little pop-up tent, and you see this like Kender come out that like with his Hopak staff and his, it's just a staff in his back, and he's got a big top knot, and the thing that he's holding, like the basket of croissants, is bigger than he is, and he walks out, and Pike is like, that's Marlin right there. Actually, he was preparing more croissants.
Oh, thank you for your help, sir.
And you see him walk up and like put the basket of croissants, and like, he's got like the chef's rag on his thing, and he like wipes his brow. He's like, whoa, oh, that's a lot of croissants. They're just going through them. And you see him grab the other, the empty thing, that one of the baskets is like empty, and he like grabs it, and he goes to go back like in the tent or whatever. And he like starts making his way back to like the prep tent, we'll call it.
Well,
follow.
Okay. You guys like follow him, and you see him with like do you go in the tent, or do you just like stay outside the tent, or what do you guys do?
I was gonna go in and kind of help him with whatever he's doing.
You go in, and he's like, whoa, and like you see all the ingredients, like it looks like an assembly line, like the batter, the butter, all that kind of stuff. And at the end, you see him like pick a wand up, wave the wand, and they become a bunch of croissants. So he is actually prepping this stuff. He's just cooking them with the power of magic to like speed up the process a little bit,
Yeah, I'll take the basket out. I was like, I'll take care. I'll help you out here, buddy.
And you pick them up, and it's like warm, buttery croissants in the thing. And he's like, oh, can I help you, gentlemen?
Yes, we received a letter from you.
Oh,
I'm Uriel. This
right.
is my friend Swami.
Oh,
and this
right.
is Martok.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I did send you a letter. Yeah, I've heard some things, I'll wait for your friend to get back. We could talk. He laughs. We didn't do it. That's the answer to your question.
It wasn't us.
Yeah, Martok,
you heard you've been watching us somehow, air quotes. Like, what does that mean? He's like,
Oh, you like come back from your basket run or whatever. He like the flap closes after Martok comes back, and he's like, "Yeah, we've been we've been watching you, and we're very interested in what you can offer." He's just making the croissants, and he's like, "There is a test involved, but you would get a mentor, and you would have the full resources of the Mages of High Sorcery."
What would be required from us? I assume it's exchange. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
He like smiles. He's like, "You can keep making croissants." He's like, I mean, it would be great, you know. But he says, yes, much like the Knights of Solamnia, we would require you to do certain things, to go on missions, things like that. Maybe work with your mentor on projects, something that we thought was important, especially if there's war coming. And if I've heard the rumors, and obviously the refugees are here, some of those things have to be true. We haven't seen anything like this in a long time, and we need people to help with the war effort.
What about freelance help? You pay, we go. And we still get some mentorship, but we subsidize it for us.
He's like, well, that could be arranged, but I did see you speak with the Knights, so that makes me a little reticent to just give you money offhand.
Well, the Knights were also trying to get us to join them.
He grins. He's like, of course. He goes, but I can't really blame him for trying to do the same thing that I'm doing. But, and he says, oh, whatever you do, don't go to Marta's baked croissants. Don't go there. They have bad croissants.
How bad?
They're disgusting.
What about them is disgusting?
She never uses
They're
enough.
not his croissants.
1, I didn't make them. 2, she doesn't use enough butter. 3, they're gross.
Oh,
he just looks at you. He's like, they're gross.
Okay.
He's very serious. He says, don't go there. He says, to be honest, he goes, we could probably work with freelancers. I just thought I'd offer. I've seen you in action. Pretty amazing, actually. Can't believe you guys made it out of there okay.
Well, the one thing we will say is we work well together. We don't per se work good with being told what to do, but the three of us are like a package deal.
Oh.
And making us go our separate ways to do stuff would kind of defeat our purpose.
Or our effectiveness.
Or effectiveness.
You're trying to purchase something. You're trying to purchase a result. But what you don't want to do is mess up the process of how we get that result, which is our teamwork, you know?
Gotta respect the process.
Fair enough. I guess like the Knights, I had to ask at least. Again, you guys showed great aptitude on the battlefield. I can't believe you survived. I mean, it looks like, from what I heard, you were pretty much stretched pretty thin at that last engagement. Pretty impressive.
So picture this. There we were. There were hundreds of them everywhere. And three of us just leveling everything in our path until we ran out of mana.
You see him grin a bit, laugh, you know, and then like put a bunch of like dough or whatever, and he goes, 100. I mean, it was probably more like 7 or 8, right? I mean, it's probably that mercenary there. You see him like, you know, put his hand on his chin. He's got like dough, and he's like, there was a mercenary, a couple crossbowmen. I don't know. I think you guys were doing okay.
There were 15 on the hill that we fought previous. Yeah. And then there was another 6 after that. And then
you see him grin. He's like, well, I was just talking about the last engagement. But
oh, the last one? Yeah, I don't remember. I just saw a big-ass mechanical dragon coming at us, and that was...
Right. Well, you did well. Come by and go to Croissant anytime. Maybe we could talk about the hundreds of more people you're going to kill between now and Wednesday.
Oh, God.
All right.
Well, you did speak about training, too, though.
Oh, yeah. So, you see him, like, clean his hands off with his towel. He's like, training. Yes, there is training. But again, you'd have to take me up on my offer. It's a conditional training.
Bro, what's with all this sign your name on the dotted line?
I know, right?
Type stuff.
Damn. Damn government officials.
They're organizations. They're always looking for conscripts, you know? Both the knights and the mages.
So we can't get the training without joining.
Oh, no, give me a history check. Swami.
Everybody or
you guys can get both. Yeah, everybody give me a history check.
12.
It's not bad.
24.
Whoa. Uriel's like, let me tell you, when the sun exploded and made Kryn, you guys Swami, you know that like this is just how it works. Like you've been in Kryn a little bit. You know that like the knights and the mages are kind of looking for recruits, you know? So it's not, the war effort has obviously ramped up their recruitment efforts. So that's kind of like, this is just how it works. More battle comes, they try to push and get people to recruit. That's it. Both Uriel and Martok, you know that the, and Swami knows this a little bit from before, a check he did a long time ago, a few sessions ago, but the knights and the mages in the past have gotten along. Now they kind of don't trust each other. You know, they're kind of suspect of each other because of their histories. With the 24 and the 21, you know that they blame each other for the cataclysm that happened that like sunk parts of Kryn. Swami knows this from an earlier check he did. This is kind of stuff that he talked to Rose when he was talking to her and actually getting information out of her and not berating her for not killing 17 people when there was only 5 people on the field. Anyway, he's like, you should have killed the guy behind him and the one. Why can't you just use one bullet and kill 3 people?
Why can't you do your job? Why do we have to do everything?
Basically, they both blame each other for like the knights blame the mages for like, you know, causing the cataclysm. But the mages also know that like the knights have some literal skeletons in their closet and have done some pretty dirty things as knights, which it would be, I don't know, like ancient history. You guys did pretty well, but oh, you got a natural 20, Martok. You do know that there's some rumblings of like even with the 20, you do know there's some rumblings of the knights siding with the undead, like in their history. And so it's one of those things where from what you've heard in the bars and the rumblings you've heard that like maybe somebody shook a hand with either a necromancer or a white, somebody really powerful. Maybe the knights did. And that caused, you know, they started getting what they wanted. So then this whole thing started of like, well, they're dirty too. Like they signed a deal with who knows what, right? Some kind of evil force. And the mages, are, because of their magic, are kind of blamed for what happened to Kryn. So like they don't really trust each other. But, you know, you guys all ruled really well in your history. You know, back a long, long time ago, they would fight side by side. Like they would train together so they could complement each other. You'd be paired up with like a mage and a fighter, a warrior, a knight, and they would fight and battle together. You know, they were like, you know, battle brothers, literally.
I would say what we do, but our fighter guy uses more magic than he does fight.
Hey, man, it, yeah, whatever. A lot of dead bodies that way, I guess, so.
I was going to, you know, my whole problem with it is there's knights that we've dealt with that have been good people, and there's Rose.
She's
right.
part of the main.
Rose isn't bad, but Rose is also still young and naive when it comes to everything.
Yeah, she's like a novice. She's like a Darrett, basically.
So it's kind of hard to look at her and base all the mages off of her.
So you
but at the same time, her friend came, didn't say a word to us, and then they disappeared.
Well, that just depends. Well, what you're telling me is you want to meet a competent mage, so you can like judge the Wizards of High Sorcery in like a better light. Basically, is what you're saying.
Because I mean, getting more training is always great. It helps with us being able to fight, but at the same time, if all of us get put into something different, are we allowed to still work together?
Are you asking the GM?
Are you asking?
This is kind of like to Marlin. So I say, you know, the 3 great wizards, you know, the
orders,
light, Yeah, the orders, light, chaos, and dark. If we all get put into different
neutral
ones,
right? Neutral, dark, and whatever. There's like, you know, the black moon, the neutral moon, and the white moon, basically.
I was like, would we not be allowed to work together because of us having different?
Well, Marlon's like, well, you know, it's crazy how much war will change things. And he goes, in a way, our whole philosophy is an order has changed. I mean, through the years, we have fought each other on site, but we lost a lot of mages that way, and it really doesn't make people trust you when you just start hurting each other and casting spells on each other in sight in public places. So the way we look at it is this: as long as you're not harming anybody, we kind of let you do what you're going to do, and we don't really get in the way of each other's orders. The orders of mages do communicate, and we have orders from on high on what certain people should do and what orders should do. But I can tell you that each order has their own discipline of magic they study, and as long as they're not actively hurting people of Kryn, because strangely enough, one of our edicts is we do have to actually defend people of Kryn. We're like the knights in that respect. But other than that, we let people be what they do. So I would say that, yes, you would be able to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, after the test, if you pass the test, then it is determined what order you should serve, depending on how you deal with the test. And after that, you receive robes and a mentor after that, basically. Or maybe you'll get this.
Guys.
Maybe you'll get the same mentor if you all come out the same way.
What do you guys think? I mean, they're not telling us that we have to follow. Like, yes, we have to help when people need help, but that's something we already do. But being put in a garrison and being a conscript thing, that just, yeah.
It doesn't sound good for me.
No.
I mean, the helping people part, it is what we're doing already.
Well, I mean, they still have been paying you guys. They pay sellswords and stuff, so.
Can we talk to a mage that is not a novice? We have.
Yes. You could go find a mage that
But actually talking to somebody and seeing like how they are, because Rose was very. What's the word? She was book smart.
She was a rookie.
She was a novice. She didn't have the know-how.
Mm-hmm. You asked Marlon that, like, can we go speak to some of your, like, you know, members, basically, some people of the order?
Yeah, kind of. I just want to, because you can't base everything off of one person. We worked with multiple knights, and the ones we've dealt with have all been good. But the only mage we've talked to is Rose.
And you see Marlon, he's like, oh, Rose Fairweather. Yep. He goes, I feel bad. Her heart's in the right place. She just doesn't have a lot of field experience.
Well, she got some field experience, whether she liked it or not.
He's like, here. He gives you, he's like, if you go back outside, if you walk up the hill, he's like, there's a small cope of trees. There's a mage there. You should go meet them. He goes, they don't really like me to say their name out loud. And he like writes it on a piece of paper and hands it to you. Does anybody speak Elvish?
I think I do. I do.
Me too.
It says...
So me and Swami.
Swami does?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. It says Leedera's name on it. It's got her name. And it says it says right below it says Sea Elf.
Hey, we know her.
Oh. Well then maybe you should go talk to her then. She's a pretty competent mage.
They said she was dead.
And he like scowls at you. He's like, who said you can't do both? He's like, that's rude. You see him just like, He's like making the thing. He's like, that's so rude. And he's like making the croissants, you know, like pounding the dough and like flipping it.
Oh my god. I said touche.
You're like, well, does that mean I got to work when I die if I join your service? Like after you die as the mage,
like, wait a minute.
You get resurrected. You come back as a
death and then keep,
you come back
work us to death and keep us working.
Yeah, man, capitalism sucks. Let me tell you. You just got to keep going. Yeah, he like you basically you. I'm not gonna. We'll go back to this map. I'll delete. Whoa, that really zoomed in. You basically can walk up the hill. Well, I mean, what do you guys want to do? If you guys leave, he basically tells you to to take a basket out with you or whatever, you know.
Leave to the people.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
And
I'll take a basket and hand some out.
Yeah, you can
As
do
a
walk. Do you guys go up and meet? Go to where he says on the map, or do you guys want to walk around and talk to the people, or what do you want to do?
Let's go talk to Leedera, or does everybody want to do something?
You can still go talk to the townsfolk, you know, that are on the shore. They're like milling around and stuff.
Hello.
What do you guys want to do? Can you hear me?
Yep.
What do you guys want to do?
You want to go to that hill and meet Leedera?
I'm down for it.
All right, let's go do that.
You guys kind of make your way up the hill. I'm not going to make a roll. I mean, it's just a stroll up the hill. You guys, as you get up to the hillside here, she kind of like, you guys kind of walk up and she appears. The tree's really low to the ground, but she basically appears. There is another statue up here, and she's like touching it, you know, and you see her as you saw her before, but you can see the light pass through her just a little bit. And she like turns around when she sees you guys. And then she crosses her arms. She's like, "Oh, so we meet again. How are you gentlemen doing?"
Doing pretty good. And yourself?
She's like, "Well, considering my situation, I'm doing okay."
So you're not alive? Question mark?
She's like, "No, I'm very much dead. Been dead for a long time. But I try to give people in Vogler guidance, and now I suppose I should move on. I was a mage, but now I just give people advice, and people can, you know, get words of wisdom from me and things like that. I tend to show up when people need help. It's kind of my station now.
We definitely appreciated your help.
Yeah, you're doing good on that.
She goes, "Well,
too bad.
To be honest, you would have made it to town in time. The horses are fine. Don't worry. They're not real horses. But
no, God.
We rode ghost horses? Sweet." Like,
mind blown.
Yeah. She's like, what did you guys want to know?
About the the high sorcery people, and see if they're like legit, they're worthwhile. You know, what's the return on that investment of time?
What's the ROI on the Mages of High Sorcery?
Or do they work you to death and then keep you working even more afterwards?
She grins. She's like, "Well, this was my choice." She said, "No. Unfortunately, if you die as a mage, you die. I don't know a lot of other ghost mages. I'm just here to give advice." She says, I'll tell you this much. The mages have been around for a long time. And then she looks right at Swami and she's like, "But they've been maligned for a very long time as well. So take that as you will. I know you experienced Rose, but she is a novice. She doesn't really know what she's doing. But I see great things in her future. If she gets some more field experience, she can actually get a little bit more confidence. And I see her being a great, great mage." So she goes, "What? Do you have any specific questions about the mages? Like how the orders work, or?"
What's the methods of training exactly?
She goes, well, that has to do with the test of high sorcery. She says, if you guys accept the challenge, you'll be given a map. And when you go to that place, there'll be a test. And if you pass the test, then you'll be given a mentor and robes. And that'll be the order that you follow. You can change orders, but it comes at a great cost. The test is different for every person. So while you guys are taking your test, you'll be separated. You can talk about your test if you want, but it's always advised to never speak of your test. Because everybody has to do terrible, terrible things during that test.
I see. She's really selling it.
She's like, you do get the full backing of the Mages of High Sorcery. There's hundreds of years of knowledge, and the mentors that you will have are usually very old and very wise.
When you say we got to do bad things, we're not hurting any innocence or anything like that, right?
She goes, well, as a human, I was bound to never speak of the test. I can tell you this, the test is different for everyone. And whatever they ask you to do, no one ever really knows if it's real or fake. It could be an illusion or it could be real. She's like, but that's the point.
What about them?
What did you say? Sorry, Marta.
Oh, so I was asking about the knights. Are they all similar situation?
She goes, well, the knights are more, she goes a little bit more corporal than we are, obviously, no pun intended. But she goes, for everything that's been said about the knights, the same thing can be said about the mages. So I think it's very unfair that both sides are judging each other. And let me tell you this, if this war gets worse and gets, spreads, it'll take everybody coming together to defeat the Dark Queen, however she comes. So I would hope that before everything gets really bad, that both sides would have bygones be bygones and be able to work together like the old days. Because there was an alliance in the old days of us working together. Or them, I should say. She goes, sorry, being a ghost is weird with presents and tents and all that kind of stuff. She goes, but the knights are good people. Just like the mages, you'll run into good mages and you'll run into bad mages. And you'll run into good knights and you'll run into bad knights. Vorn is one of the best. In fact, Holt's up for a promotion soon, but it's not going to make him happy.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm sort of curious is that we sort of, maybe, I guess, join separate orders, right? So we have two mages with us, and myself, I'm sort of more knight-y, right? Maybe. And then we make a unit afterwards. Like, how possible do you think that would be?
She goes, well, there is a secret order. Well, not really secret, but within the knights, there is a separate order. You see, there's the Knight of the Crown, which is the lowest rank of knight. But many people are in that for a long time. And then there's the Knights of the Rose. They're of the higher station, and they order around the Knights of the Crown. But they also help the Land of Crane and stuff like that. But there's also the Knights of the Sword. Those are what you could be considered special forces, and they're given special missions that only they can go on. And although they don't really outrank any knights, all the knights kind of revere them because they know they're given the worst missions. Now, the mages kind of work with each order of the knights, but we don't really have an alliance with any knight or mage. Again, we'd like to form it in the old days, but every time we approach the council of the Knights of Solamnia, they reject it. And even in the mage circles, the people that are head of the Mages of High Sorcery, they don't really want to do it either, which again is unfortunate because I think we're going to have that happen before the war spreads.
Well, maybe we should just work on fixing that while we're...
She's like, well, that would be stupendous indeed.
That's right.
She's like,
because we have met multiple good soldiers, and Rose is not bad. She's still young, but also you have
Swami's
been very
like
helpful, very kind.
She's like, well, I'm glad you think Rose is good. That means a lot. She actually will do pretty good if she just, gets her head out of a book and actually stays in the field a bit. But she is a reader, so that's hard to say. Her mentor is actually very good.
Swami, where are you on all this? How are you feeling after all the conversation?
I am trying to wonder. I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is that is keeping her tied to this world.
Oh, you can ask her.
And I was saying that out loud, so I assume Swami was saying that out loud too. So probably she heard.
You see her smile. She's like, well, Swami, that's a good question. She said, to be honest, I know that I'm here to help people, and I try to give people as much advice as possible and be transparent. But other than that, I guess I'll move on when I move on. She goes, it's weird when you're an elf and you're hundreds of years old and then you die. Your sense of time really doesn't, is strange. And being a ghost changes a little bit more. So, I mean, I don't know what's tying me here. I guess when I'm gone, I'm gone. But I'll definitely go out with a bang. Does that answer your question?
The sound of that.
Yeah.
Just waiting to go out. Bang, Swami.
He's going to pick her up and throw her at something. Get it! Like throw her at a dragon. Kill it!
Yeah.
Shake her and throw it. How do you throw a ghost? She's like, do you guys have any more questions?
Yeah. How long ago did she die?
About 300 years ago. So it was a while.
And what caused her death?
Oh, mage stuff. To be honest, we were trying to take an underground bunker with some dragon army people. Strangely enough, they were still around. And I didn't make it. It's usually weird because I have a knack for being able to see what's around the corner, and I just couldn't see. So I was unlucky, like a lot of soldiers in a lot of wars.
And remind me, how long ago did fire rain from the sky?
Oh, that was a very long time ago.
Were you here for that?
No, but it was more fresh in our history than it is yours. So, what I know is actually not rumors, but what really happened. So
what really happened?
She's like, well, the king of Istar wanted a little bit more power, So he yelled at the gods and tried to cast a bunch of spells, and the gods got mad and they rained fire down on where he lived, hence the cataclysm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's
okay.
A lot of people believe it's some of the reason why the gods left. I haven't been able to confirm that yet, but still, when someone gets too big for their britches, they tend to not live that long, be it gods or humans for that matter.
And then besides what you see when you're here, the place that you come from, what is it like there?
She goes, well, strangely enough, it's boring, Swami. I hate to tell you, but it's just a lot of other ethereal creatures in a plane that kind of are like me that just don't know why they're there, so everybody kind of just shuffles around. I'm actually glad to be here. I like being here than there. It's, I don't know. You get a sense of time here more. There is kind of strange and... yeah.
Timeless.
Timeless. It's a little aimless. For an elf, that's saying a lot. It's good to have purpose.
Okay. That answers my question.
She's like, do you guys need anything?
Just a hug.
She goes, well, I can't do that. Maybe your friends can hug you. Like, not from me. Not from me. She's like, well, Darrett, I have to meet Darrett soon, so... Oh, could you guys actually send him up the hill?
Yeah, we can do that.
Unless you have any more questions.
Running my errand, so I'm going to be on mute for quite a while.
Okay.
But I can maybe jump out every once in a while, but I'll mostly just be on mute.
Okay. Do you guys have any other questions?
I don't have any questions.
No, Martok didn't. I don't think.
Swami?
Nope. I just wanted to know how she died, where she goes to when she's not here.
All right, well, I guess...
One more.
Yep, you turn around.
How many other places can you get to?
Said a lot. Like, do you want a number?
Can you get to the Dragon Queen's place?
She goes, unfortunately, no. She's very powerful at what she does, and she doesn't want any ghosts around, if that makes sense. So she's
How close
warded.
can you get to it?
She's like, I don't know. She goes, she moves a lot. Plus, she's, even for me, and you see her look up at the, you know, like the wind blows as she's talking a little bit, and she's like, she's obscured even from me. All of her magic is very powerful. She has mages and priests around her that make sure that she's safe. So if she's moving, it's hard. Plus, she's very powerful. So if she wants to stay hidden, she stays hidden.
Which one of us has that map that shows the X's on it with the encampment?
Oh, you guys all have those. You guys got
all right.
different copies of them when you guys were traveling. I'm not going to say like,
I want to show her. So I show her that map and ask her if she can pop into every single one of those camps.
She goes, I could, but they're deserted now. I mean, most of the dragon army has moved on, and you guys have saved most of the refugees.
Could you teleport people? Could you teleport us somewhere?
No, that I can't do. It's just for me. Sorry, Swami. I like the gumption, though.
All right, well, yeah.
Can we just go stab her in the back, like, right now and just end it? I get it. I get it. You're like, what? We need to get...
Well, yeah, you know, if she could pop us into that castle.
Yeah, she's like, well, she says, to be clear, she is very powerful in trying to stay hidden. And two, if I could be there, I would probably, whatever it is that kills ghosts would kill me very quickly. Anything else? Anything else?
That's it. That is it.
All right. I guess now we walk down the hill and go get Derek to send up for her.
Send up there. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I had to move. Todd, you were leaning over a little bit. I had to like center you a little bit. You're good. Oh, you leaned the other way. You're fine. You're fine. No, not again. He leaned. You guys walk down the hill, and Holt and Vor and Ross are like, they have a croissant like in their mouth, and both of them are like writing something, you know, like while they're like, oh, you're back. How'd it go? How'd everything go? Voren's like, he's like talking with his mouth full. He like rips it out. He's like, how'd it go?
I think I dropped something in one of those croissants when he was making them. No, I'm just kidding.
He's like, like holding his mouth, you know, like. He's like, how'd it go? Okay. Well, if you don't mind. He's like, if you don't mind, we have to go meet our CO and tell him everything that happened. And although I wrote down everything that you said, he'd probably want to meet you all to thank you and pay you. I mean, you did do a service. I mean, it didn't work out for the town of Hogler, but you did save several of the refugees after I talked to them. So good job.
Yeah, that's fine. Somebody called for Derek up at the top of the hill.
Oh. And you see Holt just whistles, and Derek like comes running down. He's like, yes? And he's got like, he dumps some more firewood. You guys look over, and there is a pretty good stack of firewood next to like one of the things. And Holt's like, you're wanted up in the hill. And Derek's like, where? And he goes, up the hill. There's a ruined statue. You'll see it. It's of a matron holding a shield. Go up there. And he's like, sir? And then he just runs up there, you know? And he's like, all right. He's like, well, if you guys follow us in, there's actually a side gate. We'll get in from one of these boats, and then we'll go meet our CO. So let's go do that. So just to fast forward, is there anything else you guys want to do until you go up to the gate? You guys kind of, oh, go ahead. Sorry, Uriel.
No.
I thought you said, yeah. You guys just take one of the boats.
We all look pretty rough, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you're healed up because you passed out in the boat, but like your armor's messed up and stuff. And you got like soot on you from like the falling ash of the burning town as you guys were like leaving, and you know, you're fighting in it and stuff. You guys kind of like shuffle into the side town, and when you get into Kalaman, it is huge. Like imagine like you know, like a huge city. You see people bustling around. You see a lot of knights walking around, and you kind of go through these alleys and things, and like you just follow Vorin and Holt. Actually, you follow Vorin. Holt stays behind to talk to Derek. You follow Vorin around as he's like going through the streets. You guys kind of go into this side office that like it's in one of those cramped alleys where only like 2 people can walk at the same time. And you see soldiers coming out. They have all kinds of different armor, all the different races of Cran. They have like, you know, leather armor with like the crest of the knights on them and stuff. They're going out. And as you guys are like about to go into the shop, you look across the street and you see Martyr's Croissants. You just see the name Marta written in Elvish, and you see just the symbol of a croissant like over the, you know, over the door, and it's a big sign. So Swami and Uriel, you guys can speak Elvish, so you're like, oh, well, there's the place we were told never to go. Like, it's right there. You guys turn and go.
How dare her not put enough butter on them?
How dare she? You guys go in, and then you see a bunch of people like in line, and you see Trinity, the elf from like, I think that was like the second session. He's there like doing paperwork by the desk. There's like candlelight, and you see some people whispering to him, and he's got like an abacus set up, and he's moving the, you know, the stones left and right on the abacus, you know, the pieces, and he's writing stuff down, and this person's like talking to him, and he sees Vorin come up, and Vorin stands at attention. He's like, sir, and you see him like put his pen down, and he's like, hold his hand up. He's like, you can be at ease, Vorin. And then he's like, oh, gentlemen, and he like sees you through there. He's like, come with me, and you guys kind of like follow him into a back room, and he takes out this small chest and hands it to you guys. Everybody gets 100 gold. So add 100 gold to your character sheet.
Hey.
Is there anything else that you request? We have an armory here if you need any weapons.
I don't know. We had asked about armor, but it seems that the only armor you guys have comes with
stipulations.
Oh, he says
comes with stipulations.
Actually, 1 second, and you guys follow him back out, and he writes something on a piece of paper, and he's like, "Here, take this. There's an armor down the street. They'll bill us, but get your armor repaired if that's what you need."
I think we do.
Yeah,
We're
you
all
guys
looking
look pretty
rough right now.
messed up right now. He gives you that. Do you guys want to talk to him or say anything, or do you just want to go to the armor?
Oh, we talked to him, just, you know, tell him what all was happening and everything. You know, what all we saw.
He's like, oh, interesting.
How we probably could have saved more, but people were dragging their feet the whole time after we explained what was going on. And even when they saw it firsthand, they still... Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to be mean, because I try to be a nice person.
Well, you see him like while you're telling him everything, you know, and he kind of looks around and he's like, I understand, but you have to understand they're just fishermen and they've never experienced war before. So
when you say go, don't just stand there and look around.
And they didn't go.
Yeah. When you get on the boats and get out of here as fast as possible, and they all just stand there. And a great soldier lost her life because of it.
That's true, but from the reports I heard from Vorin and Holt, that she saved a lot of people on the way out. So
she did.
He's like, well,
and I won't.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just, you know, that could have been maybe could have not happened.
That's
if
true.
The powers that be would have moved when we said move.
That's true. But he says, now you see what's coming. The idea that nobody understands except maybe you three and the people in this room understand what's going to happen, because we've been fighting this, not the dragon army, but we've been fighting people for a long time. And if it's going to get worse than a town burning, we're going to need everybody to do their fair share. And now hopefully the refugees will see that this isn't going to be as easy as they think it's going to be, or that they're in way more danger than they thought. Both of you guys give me, everybody give me, who can, maybe I'll roll for Marta. Give me an insight check. Whoa. Whoa. That's a swing. Swami, you're not an idiot. The knock-on effect of this happening is, sorry, Uriel, you are an idiot for the purpose of this roll. I just saw what you rolled. You know that
natty one.
You basically know that the knock-on effect of all this is that they will get more recruits. Maybe some of the refugees will come into the knight's office and recruit. Maybe some people in the fisherman's village had some aptitude with magic. Maybe they'll join the Mages of High Sorcery or try to join up. But yeah, basically, I mean, this isn't all bad. I mean, Vogler did burn, but it was a small town. But if something good could come out of it, like recruits either to the knights or the mages, it's a good thing, unfortunately. So,
well, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm dumb. Never mind. I don't know what you're saying.
Well, you know that, I mean, even with what you rolled, like with your passive abilities, you know, this like is kind of good for them either way. And that also,
it's going to wake a lot of people up.
It's going to wake a lot of people up, you know? So yeah. Do you guys want to go to the armor or, I mean, what do you want to do after, like, you fill him in? He's like, he basically, Trinity tells you, he says, listen, Voren's already told me that he tried to recruit you guys a couple times. I'm not that kind of CO. If you guys want to join, you always want to know where an office is. And if you tell him you're the sent for Voren or myself, we'll treat you with respect and tell us that you're sell swords. We're totally fine with that. We know your guys' name. You've helped us out a lot. But if you want to join, that would be better. But if you don't, I totally understand. But listen, he's like, you know, just rest for a little bit, maybe explore the city, and obviously get your armor fixed. And if we need anything, we'll call you. We'll send you a messenger to you. We have a good system for finding people when we want to.
Sounds good. We appreciate everything.
No, we do. We appreciate it. And you see Voren, he like looks at you guys who are leaving. He's like, well, let's hope there isn't anything sticking out of you guys the next time I see you. Like a blade.
As opposed to the last couple of times.
That's true, but you guys handled yourself. I just want to make sure you're moving if something is sticking out of you. And
True.
He's like, go over and get a croissant. And he's like, or go to the armor or whatever. Just look around the city for a bit.
Did you just tell us to go over there and get a croissant?
Yeah. Do you guys want to go? You guys want to go to the armor, or I mean, he's just saying that you don't have to go there if you don't want to.
Yeah. What do you want to do, Swami? You want to go to the armor?
Yeah, we need to see what that got. We need to repair our armor.
You go in and it's actually like really quiet, and it's one of those things where you go in and it's like those small dry cleaning things where you come in and you're like up against the wall, you know. But you see one guy, an elf, male elf. With candles all around him, and he's got like one of those jeweler, you know, glass things on, and he's stitching like some studded leather armor. And, you know, it's like the bell goes off, you know, when you guys come in, and you guys just have enough room to get in. If one more person tried to come in, they would have to stand outside the door. And he looks up from his jeweler thing and he's like, can I help you? And he puts his glasses down and like puts the armor down and like comes to the front desk. And it's just like a small, like just a paltry desk, like my desk here, but made out of wood with like one quill pen and a bunch of candles around it. He's like, can I help you? And this place is dark. You don't know how this guy gets anything done because everywhere around him is candles, which also seems very dangerous, but that's just how he works.
Yeah, we've had that issue before.
You're like, hey, don't burn the town down, man. We've already come from one burned town. Don't do it again. He's like, can I help you guys?
In Elvish, I say, hello, sir. We were sent here by the knight's order to see about repairing or replacing whichever one our gear.
He like, you see him smile, and I love it. She's like, you know, a lot of people say that the knight sent them in to get their stuff repaired. I mean, unless you have a conscription or a scrib or anything, I can't really help you.
One of these.
Oh, you give him the conscription. He looks it over, you know, and he's like, all right. And then he looks at Martaka and Swami. He's like, hand him over. He's like, if you go on the side there and you guys look, and there's like a little like side panel thing. He's like, well, you guys have traveling clothes. He's like, he's basically like, he looks at him, and then he looks at your arm, and he's like, oh my God. He just like looks over your guys is like messed up. He's like, just come back in about 2 hours. I can't believe he like takes your guys' armor and like puts him down, and you just see him like, oh. He's like, come back in 2 hours. I'll have him ready.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I don't know what else to say. He said 2 hours. That's a lot of work for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to leave it. You guys are in Kalaman. You're getting your armor repaired. You have time to explore the city next session before we come back together.